Oh, maybe they haven't bothered checking his availability.
What on Wikipedia?
I don't know. I don't know how they do it. Um, the ones I was thinking of, kind of. Well, we talked a bit about Corey Hall, didn't we, earlier on? He's played pretty much all year. In fact, he has played all year, other than he's been suspended for a couple of games along the way at Wakefield. And I think this would be a step up for him to be thinking of. Um, then outside of that, Oliver Russell at Huddersfield as well might have been worthy
Yeah.
of consideration. Um, but look, it's a kind of developmental group, isn't it? Really. So,
Yeah.
okay. Have you got any recommendations, Sarah? I'm hoping you've got something. You've been all around the well, all around parts of America.
Yeah, so we managed to be in 4 different states, which was quite exciting. The bulk of our time was spent in Utah, which is a beautiful state. Um, we were just outside Salt Lake City, but close enough that it was classed as Salt Lake City still. And it's surrounded by mountains, and really beautiful. We travelled down south to the bottom of Utah and went to Moab, which is full of red rocks. And I mean, it does actually feel like you're on a different planet. And a lot of any films that are filmed that are meant to be on Mars are often filmed there just because of how vast it is with all the canyons and everything and the rock formations and them all being red. And we went up through Idaho and Montana and into Wyoming and went to Yellowstone National Park, which was beautiful. We saw the geysers. We went and saw Old Faithful. We saw some coyotes. We saw bison. We saw bears. We saw deer. We got to go and swim in some huge lakes. We canoed and kayaked there as well, and it was just incredible. So yeah, if you ever get a chance to go to that part of America, I would highly recommend it.
Good stuff. I'm glad that you had a good time, and it sounds like you saw loads of stuff, which is and loads of stuff that you can only see there. That's the
Yeah,
thing as well, isn't it?
yeah. We were very fortunate. We were staying with somebody that Peter knows through a lot of his work. A family also with 3 children, and
Work or through the magician's circle?
through work stuff. So they're often at conferences together, and they get on very well. And when Peter said he was thinking about bringing the family to America, Fene very kindly said, "Well, you've seen our house, come and stay with us." And he had, yeah, a very full timetable for us.
That's
Basically,
awesome.
getting off the airplane. And we also got to experience a traditional Colombian birthday party because they are Colombian originally. And it had been their son's 14th birthday just before we got there.
So loads of cocaine and coffee and stuff.
Yeah, something like that. So we had live music and singing and salsa dancing and all sorts. So that was really fun.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's a really good recommendation, well-rounded, lots of things to talk about, interesting things for people to listen about. My recommendation is Doritos chicken wing crisps.
Excellent.
There you go. The local Morrison's to me used to have some really good home brand, like sharing packets of crisps,
Yeah.
and then they seem to all disappear. And now they've got some new crisps that are fucking minging that I tried, but they have these Doritos stacks things on offer at the moment, and they have these like we went in after we'd been to the pub on our way home the other day, so that's why I ended up buying them. But they were dead nice, so that's all I've got this week, recommendations wise.
Whilst we were there, Luke discovered some pepperoni pizza crisps as well, which he was quite taken by.
Cool. So what, like spicy cheese, I guess, because of pepperoni and cheese, or did they just take it to pepperoni?
They're crisps, but they're somehow like folded over and have cheese and pepperoni flavouring inside.
Oh, okay.
So
that sounds like a hell of a lot of additives.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, they don't have rules like that in America.
No. Yeah. I also went walking on Saturday, right? I went in a pub, and I checked because it was at the midpoint of my walk, so kind of the walk was kind of linear one way and then linear back, but I managed to take two slightly different paths, so it wasn't just the same walk back and forward. And halfway along, there was a pub. And I checked, when does the pub open? It's open on Saturdays from 11. I was like, right, so if I get there about 12, between 12 and 1, should be able to get some lunch. Got there about 20 past 12, and the pub was locked. So I was like, oh. So I walked around the back to see if there was like an obvious back door. There wasn't. So I was like, oh. Got my phone out again and then saw, well, it says it's open still. It says it's open, and on Facebook they've just put a post on about their lunchtime menu. So I'm like, right, I'll go in then. I'll try again then. And a side door was open. So I went in, saw the girl behind the counter, and I said to her, are you open? And her answer was, oh, I'm not sure. She had to check with someone else.
That is interesting.
Anyway, I ended up having a bacon and brie panini. It was fine. And then walking back. But yeah.
Glad that she found out that they were open.
Yeah, she did find out they were open. Thing is, like, the part of it that I thought would have been trickier is when I then said, oh, and are you serving food, yeah? And she was like, oh, yeah, well, yeah, straight away. She said, yeah. Like,
she was selling food, she just didn't know if she was open.
Yeah, weird.
Yeah.
Weird.
I was just going to say, on a serious note, if you're travelling, make sure you take travel insurance. That's my last piece of SLP recommends.
Yeah. Especially if you're travelling to a country that doesn't have the healthcare system that we have.
Yes.
Fair enough. Good stuff. Okay. Do you want to remind people where they can find the show and share the show and that sort of stuff?
Yeah, so you can find us at Super League Pod on Twitter and Instagram, facebook.com/Super League Pod, superleaguepod@gmail.com, superleaguepod.com. You can search for the show on Spreaker, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Podcast Addict, Stitcher, Spotify, Overcast, or anywhere you normally find your podcasts. And we're on YouTube too, audio only.
Good stuff. Shout out to our friends Rob's Megastore and to SLP10 on checkout to get 10% off your order. Little Warden, vital alerts for hidden issues. Head to littlewarden.com to see what they can do for you. And Sarah's Bookcase. Sarah sells Usborne books with access to over 3,000 titles from baby to young adults. There's something for everyone. Find out more on Facebook. Okay, Sarah. That's it for this week's show. We will see how nonsensical or otherwise our guesses were next week when we've got a double show. Hopefully plenty of fan reviews to get through. They don't think about us, do they, when they schedule these double headers? They really don't. I think it might be David back from his trips. More trips from him. I think it's David next week. So yes. With all that said and done, I'd like to thank everyone again for listening along to your favourite Rugby League podcast, and we'll speak to you very soon. Goodbye from the Super League Pod.
Goodbye.